kids and preteens, I'm Rebecca, and I'm so glad that you could join us online this week. Well, don't mind me, I'm just getting ready for my first 5K race at the end of the month. I'm super excited, but also kind of nervous. You see, 5K means 5 kilometers, which is a little over 3 miles. That's a long way to run. I know that if I want to be successful in this race, I need a training plan. I need to show some commitment. Commitment is following God's plan by putting it into practice. First, I've got to stretch out my muscles. I'll start by running at the end of the block, then to the end of the street. I'll run a little more each day. I'll eat right and go to bed on time. That way I can be rested and ready. All of these things are part of my training plan. If you want to do anything important, you need commitment. You need a plan. The Apostle Paul actually talked about running a race in a letter that he wrote to the church in Corinth. He wanted to help the Corinthians understand what commitment is all about. 1 Corinthians 9:24 says, "Do you not know that in a race, all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize." Now, spoiler alert, Paul wasn't giving the Corinthians advice for an actual running race. He was talking about something much bigger than that. But to best understand what he was telling them, let's start by looking at what it actually takes to run a race. First, you have to make a training plan. You have to start months in advance and decide when you're going to make time in your day to practice running. You have to plan how you're going to run, starting with small distance, then working your way up. You need a plan to train steadily, month after month after month. Once you have a plan, then it's time to move. You start by running a few miles at first, then add another mile, then another mile, and then another. Just like you planned, as your body gets stronger, you go farther and farther. But training isn't just about moving your body. You also have to fuel your body with the right stuff. You have to stay hydrated. You have to eat healthy and build your muscles. You have to put the right stuff into your body so you can get stronger. This last one might surprise you. You have to get lots of rest so you can be fully charged. And so you can recover from all that hard training you put your body through. That's especially important in the days right before a big race. As you can see, running a long race takes a lot of hard work. You have to make a training plan, then put your plan into action. You have to make a commitment. You also have to make sure you eat right and get lots of good sleep. You have to do all these things to do your best running. You have to plan, move, fuel, and rest to run a race well. That's what Paul meant when he said run in such a way as to get the prize. But remember, Paul wasn't just talking about running in an actual race. He wanted the Corinthians to understand that there's something else we should train for, and it's way more important than running a race. We should have a training plan for our relationship with Jesus. Listen again to what Paul wrote in the rest of his letter to the Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 9:25 says, "Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever." Our relationship with God lasts forever. That's what we really live for. It's like a race that you and I run every day. In fact, we're running a race right now. If we want to run the race well, we need to live out what matters most. We need to do what Jesus said is the most important thing. Jesus once said in Matthew 22:37-39, it says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself." Love God and love others. That's what Jesus said is most important. That's what we need to do every day. And if we want to do it well, we need a training plan. So how do we make a training plan for our relationship with Jesus? How do we grow stronger in our relationship with Him so that we can choose to love Him and love others every single day. We can grow in our relationship with God when we take time to hear from Him. We can hear from God when we read what's written in the Bible. As we do, we discover that we really can trust God no matter what. We can also pray. We can take time to talk to God and stay connected with Him. We can tell Him thank you. We can say we're sorry. We can tell Him how we feel about anything that's going in our lives. We can also talk about God. We can talk to others around us about what we believe. We can talk to people who do not know about God and tell them about Him. We can also live for God and everything we do. We can worship Him, not just by singing, but with the way we live, the way we treat others, and the choices we make every day. Now that we have a faith training plan, it's important that we put it into practice. That's what commitment is all about. Maybe you already read your Bible. Maybe you already pray and talk to God. Maybe you know what it's like to talk about God with other people. That's awesome. Or maybe you're just getting started with all of it, and that's awesome too. All of us can take a step toward commitment by following God's plan, by putting it into practice. Our bottom line is keep practicing what matters most. Let's stay committed so we can live out what Jesus said is most important: love God and loving others. We can hear God's words through the Bible. We can pray and talk to God. We can talk to our friends and others about Jesus. Each day, we can live out what we believe by loving God and loving others. That's it for today. Be sure to check back with us for great resources and amazing things throughout the whole month of May. Until next time, bye everyone.